The bulls face a test. If they pass, new all-time highs. But if they fail, this is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about the fact that we were looking for lower based on the Elliott Wave structure and the indicators that we use that I teach in our Elliott Wave for Beginners course, telling us that there was selling behind the scenes and we should be looking for a move down. And that's exactly what we saw. The market moved down to a key support level and then bounced off of there. And now the question is, can the bulls hold? I'll get into that in just 1 second. But first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, a good day in the room. 2 trades, 2 wins, as you can see on the screen. People are having a great time in there, and if you're not part of this trading group, you're really missing out. One of the guys referenced on the screen isn't even PT or I. It's Roof Doc, who's a friend of mine named John. He wasn't a friend before I started doing this, but I met him. Awesome guy, does an awesome job of trading, and that's just added value that you get in these rooms. We understand the market, and we know how to trade it, and if you want to be part of this winning team, stay tuned for later in the video. But for now, let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 2-hour futures chart for the S&P 500, and what we expected today was to come down and break this low here and give us at least a deeper wave circle 2, and that's exactly what we saw. The market came down into our key support area, this 618, down to 764, and this is a little bit concerning for the bulls. We wanted them to hold this 4770 area if they were going to try to hold and take it higher, and they were unable to do so as the market broke through down toward 4750. Now, from there, it does look like we've gotten a corrective bounce, so that usually indicates that we need lower from here. The bulls basically have a very clear-cut parameter here. If they can hold over 4735 and give us an impulsive look to the upside, we'd be looking for a breakout to new all-time highs and a wave 1 of 3, a wave 2 of 3, and then the breakout. So remember, we never usually just break straight up. You get a 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and then the breakout. So if the bulls can hold 4735, give us an impulsive move up that takes back the 4786 area. If they can take over 4786 on the way up, that's a strong sign that the bulls are trying to take back control and looking to take this back to all-time highs. Again, we'd look for 5 waves up, a pullback, and then a move out and up from there. Now, if the bears want to retain control of the market, they need to really hold this under the 4786 area and then push down toward 4731 to 4721. Okay, so we're looking for this to basically essentially be wave 4 of 3, 5 of 3 to complete this bracketed 3. Then you'd look for a wave 4 and 5 down toward 4700, and that would give us wave 1 of our C wave down. That would target the 4500, 4600 area overall. And it would give us that B wave that we've talked about before having a C wave up to new all-time highs in a bigger ABC. And the bears have problems with their count too. On the SPX, it looks a lot better because this B wave high here actually did make a new high on the market on the SPX, but on the ES it did not. So it's a little bit of an ugly pattern to the downside if you're looking for what we're looking for, which is a C wave. So when you're looking for a C wave, you're looking for an impulsive move in 5 waves, and right now it's a little bit choppy off of this top and this wave 1 down, and then wave 2 almost back up to a new high. And then from here, you have your wave 3 starting. On the SPX, this does look a little bit better because you have a high to build off of. And from there, it does look more like a C wave to the downside. So we'll have to see which chart is telling the truth. And given the overall parameters, it should be pretty easy to figure out over the next few days. Again, if the bulls can hold 4735 or higher and push up in 5 waves back over 4786, then we would start to look more bullish toward all-time highs. And if the bears can break this down under 4731, bounce and hold it down, get it down to this 4702 area for a wave 1 of C, then it's much more likely we go to that 4500, 4600 area. Over on the NASDAQ. Okay, on the NASDAQ, we're on the 30-minute chart here. And if you remember when we were looking for the bigger pullback after the summer move up, I kept saying that if you were bearish, NASDAQ is a problem, and that continues to be the case. If you're looking for the bigger B wave down, NASDAQ does continue to be a problem, and the reason is this structure is really ugly here. It's not very indicative of what a C wave would look like. Is it possible it's a leading diagonal? Sure, but diagonals are untrustworthy, and it's pretty ugly in general. And they did come down. I said that this was pretty shallow. They came down and got to the 50% retrace, which is a totally reasonable retrace level. They bounced off of it almost perfectly. and have moved up from there. Now, this move does look corrective, meaning that this first move up does look like 3 waves, and then they pull back and break the pivot and then move up. So it looks more like an ABC than a corrective move. But the NASDAQ overall structure is not what you would expect to see if we're going to see bigger downside toward that 16,000 area. So the NASDAQ is a problem for the bears. But as I said, it is possible we have a diagonal building out to the downside, and then we'd look for a bounce and then the continuation down to that 16,000 area. And this bigger wave 4 down here that we talked about. So you would have this A leg down, your B wave bounce, and your C leg down. Again, the biggest issue is this doesn't look very impulsive to the downside overall. So it is a little bit of a stretch or a little bit of trouble for the bears to assume that we're just going to break down from here and push on down into the 16,000 area. They'd want to see another low here. So you have a wave 1 down, and then a wave 2 up, and then an A, B, C for 3. Then you'd look for wave 4 up and wave 5 down to give you the leading diagonal. And then you'd look for a pretty sharp retrace back up into this origination area. Then you'd look for the breakdown from there. So NASDAQ is much uglier to the downside, meaning it's much less likely to play out that way, but we do want to give it a chance to build out that diagonal. But for the NASDAQ, if they can push back up over this high here at about 16,979, 16,980, right in this region here, they can push back over that. It becomes very unlikely we're going to look to the downside, and we'd be looking at the 17,500 overall level on the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ is the fly in the ointment if you are bearish and looking to the downside, but it is possible to get a diagonal if they're going to do that. Guys, if you like the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It'll take you right over to the webpage. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there and make sure you love it and become part of the trading team before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. You literally have nothing to lose by checking it out. We also have our Elliott Wave for Beginners online course. In there, we're helping real traders understand the market in a way that finally makes sense. When the market has good news and it goes down and bad news and it goes up, it can be very confusing because the news cycles don't drive the market. Elliott figured this out a long time ago and understood when and where markets turned and what levels to watch for, and those key levels give you a huge advantage over the rest of the market. In this course, we teach you how to find those levels, what happens when they hold, and what happens when they break, and what kind of patterns to look for. It is 25 videos where I go over an introduction, where we go over the expectations, your mindset, the KISS method, and why it works. Your chart setup and tools, where we go through every tool you need to use with Elliott Wave Theory, how to use it, and why to use it, as well as the Elliott Wave for Beginners area, where we go through each of the waves, how they work, what their targets are, how to measure them, how to figure out where they're going, when they fail, when they succeed, the corrective depth theory, the theory of alternation, all of the different things you need to understand a market that's irrational. The cool thing is, if you don't want to pay the $67, no problem. You can get the course for free simply by signing up for one of our monthly rooms. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over exactly where we are in the counts and what to expect, as well as all training material we release. We're about to release our Advanced Elliott Wave course, and that comes for free when you're a monthly member. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing and day trade, which means our trades can be quite often. And if you're looking to trade futures, individual stocks, you're looking to do income trades or advanced training, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks and futures trading, his income trading strategy that's just killing the market. We went over it last week. The comments on it, the people are loving it. They're making 30, 40, 50 points a week, killing the market. And he also has his reduced risk binary method that get you in at a cheap price and get you big multiples on your money, and it's how he structures that trade that's so unique. And these are all reasons we give you that 7-day free trial so that you can actually see what we're doing before you ever spend any money. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account, trading mini ES futures, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we'd love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. All right, the key takeaways for today. Bulls face a test. If they can hold 47.35 and push higher impulsively back over 47.86, then we would be looking at new all-time highs over the next couple weeks. Whereas if they cannot hold those levels and the bears are able to push back down towards 47.31 and ultimately 4700, then it does look more like we're headed toward 4,500 first and then a C wave up to all-time highs. On the NASDAQ, Things are a little bit uglier for the bears. It does look a little bit more like a corrective pullback, which would lead to a bullish reaction. They did push up today. It does look corrective for now. The bears do have an opportunity to get another low here for a leading diagonal, and then you look for a pretty sharp bounce. And the bulls have a chance off of this low here to push higher up into the 17,500 area. They would really want to hold this low over here at the 16,666 area below that, and it does look more like we head toward 16,000 before moving higher. Guys, that is your market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.